Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of NEWSWAVE, written, produced and recorded in the heart of Cornwall by the team here at Chaos Radio. I'm your host, Tom Howe, and I'll be guiding you through some of the insightful guests and exciting news content we've enjoyed across Chaos Radio this past week. On today's show, we're taking you to Carlyon Bay, where big name music returned to Cornwall's coastline with Tunes on the Shore, a 3-day live music extravaganza. We sent Meah Howlett, Bryna Jordan and Joe Allen to witness history being made in St Austell Bay. We'll also be shining a light on one of Cornwall's most inspiring young changemakers, Aiden Coxhead, a surfer and coach living with cystic fibrosis, autism and a learning disability. He's the founder of Aloha Kakou, an inclusive surf business that's changing lives one wave at a time. As well as that, we catch up with Caitlin Gould, co-founder of TECwomen CIC, to hear about a UK-first aviation programme for girls, launching right here in Cornwall in 2025. We'll also take a walk through this year's Dementia Action Week with Dr. Alison Hibbert, chair of the Cornwall Dementia Partnership, who's helping lead a major push to make support for dementia easier to access and to understand. And finally, we speak to John Meek, curator at Newquay Zoo, who's just returned from Germany after accompanying one of the zoo's young Carpathian lynxes, the first British big cat, to join a European rewilding programme.
NEWSWAVE.
First up though, Tunes on the Shore brought live music back to Carlyon Bay in a big way, with 3 days of top talent, sea air and plenty of sand. Meah Howlett was there to capture all the atmosphere.
NEWSWAVE.
We're here at Tunes on the Shore at Carlyon Bay, and even with the weekend drawing to a close, the party is still in full swing. Over the last 3 days, we've had the noughties nostalgia of Scouting for Girls, club classics with a twist from the Ibiza Orchestra Sinfonica, and the Beach Country Festival, Shania Twain, Johnny Cash and Luke Combs tributes, and much, much more. And one of those is Cornwall's own Daisy Clark, who we caught up with.
I love all the tunes, but yeah, well, on the shore today, just did my set. It was really, really fun.
And we are literally on the shore, like it's just sand, the sea is within meters of us. What is it like playing in locations like this? It must be some of the most gorgeous locations that you're playing in.
Yeah, I said this in my set actually, they're my favourite gigs to play. If I've been to any festival or show, like not in Cornwall, it just doesn't hit the same, like having the sea. And like even like at other festivals as well, when you see that sunset, it's just so sick, and it just feels so serene, like nothing compares at all.
And I imagine we're in the end of May now, and you must be gearing up for a really busy summer. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to a busy summer in Cornwall, absolutely. I'm kind of bopping between Cornwall and London at the moment with like a lot of writing sessions up there, and then coming down here and like chilling, relaxing, and then playing some shows, which is really nice. Yeah, summer's definitely shaping up to be very busy. Kind of getting things in the diary, like as we speak, kind of just shaping it all up. But yeah, it's looking to be busy, and I'm very, very excited. It's the best time of year down here for live music, absolutely.
Is this nice to kind of come home and play here when you are sort of up in London or elsewhere?
Definitely. I just feel like coming back to my roots, like it grounds me. It like, I just need a bit, like after a certain time in London, I'm like, right, I'm ready to come home. Like I give myself like 3 weeks to a month, and then I'm like, right, I need to go and see the sea and touch some grass, because it gets a bit too much and quite tiring. And then I come home and I'm like, right, I'm good. See the people I love to see, like even the musicians down here, there's such a good like circle of musicians that I just love, and like having everyone down here, it is just lovely. It's just a different world down here. I love it so much.
The festival is full of families, groups of friends and music fans, young and old.
So father and son, Chris and John, and you're here at Tunes on the Shore. Now, a birdie's told me this is your first ever concert, is that right?
Yes.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm really excited.
Okay, and I know that you're a big fan of one of the bands on this evening. Tell me a bit more about that.
I really like Scouting for Girls. And my favourite song is I Wish I Was James Bond.
Do you wish you were James Bond?
Yeah.
I feel like quite a lot of people do. And I know that in your hands right now, you have got a beautifully made sign. Can you talk me through what's on this sign?
It's a note saying that it's my birthday tomorrow and I would really like them to play that song.
And you've got some really good drawings on there, haven't you?
Yes. I drew the band and a 007 symbol.
Obviously, it's really exciting taking him along to his first concert. Is this something that you've all been looking forward to?
Yeah, we've had Scouting for Girls on repeat for about 2 months in the house. We've been hearing it from the kitchen when he's doing chores, and you've just been really excited about it since we mentioned that we'd be coming to this. So myself and John's mum, we've done concerts before, and it's always, can I go to one now? Can I go to one? And now we've finally got one, and it's here, and I don't think you could stay in bed long enough this morning, could you?
And obviously this is the first time that Tunes have come down here and done an event like this. Were you excited to see something like this here down in Carlyon Bay?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because obviously this is sort of near where the old Coliseum was. So having music come back to this area is really big. Like, we heard from our parents all the stuff they did, like Black Sabbath and Saxon, Eagles, everything they used to listen to. So coming here where they used to listen to music with a new festival, the first year, hopefully more after as well, just super excited, super close to home, and it's lovely weather for it too.
It's great to see an event like this back on St Austell Bay with the help of the team led by Tim Vigus.
We're really quite buoyed and quite positive. This is our first event and the first of many, hopefully.
And there's such a legacy with big acts being down here on the beach. Do you have any good memories of the Coliseum down here, seeing acts live?
Yeah, I do. Me and my friends, we all used to travel up in a little Ford Fiesta years ago. I mean, I saw Simple Minds, we saw the Police, the Smiths, Joan Armour Trading. There's just so many, I've forgotten most of them. But yeah, we used to come up here, whenever there was a band on, we'd be here.
And this is just the first in 2 events that you're doing with Tunes. Obviously, Tunes at the Coliseum coming in July, something to look forward to as well. I know you're so busy with this already, but I'm sure you're already in the thick of all of that.
Yeah, we are. So tickets are selling quite well for that. We've got The Darkness playing, and we've got local legends, King Creature as well, coming along for support, plus a load of other bands, which will be released a little bit closer to the event. That's on the 25th, 26th and 27th of July. So presuming that everything goes okay here, which we're hoping it will, then we'll be back in July.
Bringing these kind of events to this area, it means so much to the people here, and it's just such a positive thing.
Yeah, it is, but I think as well you've got to give a bit of a shout out to Tommy Job, for taking the risk. I mean, we've been in partnership on this event, but he's the driving force really behind it and his Tunes events, and he's taken a bit of a chance, and it's looking like this will pay off. You know, it's well attended. We've got good ticket sales for tonight, for tomorrow, and for Sunday, so it's looking good. It's really good. So shout out to Tommy.
Tunes on the shore. How are we feeling tonight?
And we asked what future acts these festival goers want to see down here on the beach.
My name's Chris, this is Claire, my wife. I'd love to see the likes of Coldplay, we like Robbie Williams. Yeah, I mean, anyone. You're not going to get Oasis or Coldplay, are you? But it'd be lovely to see them down here, do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's a bit of a reach, but I'm a northerner and it would be amazing to have Oasis down here, because just a bit of Oasis on the beach would be the best thing ever.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Eve.
I'd love to see Oasis down here, but it's not going to happen, is it? Yeah, but, really as in, obviously 20, 30 years, 40 years ago, we had massive acts down here. And nowadays we don't have any of that, so it'd be nice for a lot bigger acts to come down sometimes. I'd love to see Stereophonics down here, don't get me wrong, or the Kaiser Chiefs or something like that. Especially this time of year, especially where we've got, obviously, you can see we've got the beach, we've got the weather, it's the perfect place to have something like this, to be totally honest.
Eve, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking the same. I would absolutely, oh my God, I've always said it about Ed Sheeran. He would be phenomenal to have.
And it's not just been music taking centre stage this weekend. The crowds have been enjoying food, cocktails and more from the local businesses on the beach.
Hi, I'm Sam and I work at the Mussel Shoal down at Carlyon Bay.
Thank you so much for joining me, Sam. So how has it been this weekend with Tunes on the Shore happening?
Oh, it's absolutely been great. Yeah, really nice vibe, really chilled out. Well, I say chilled, it has been like quite busy, but a nice busy, not like crazy busy. But yeah, it's been really fun.
With the music going on here, have you been able to sneak out, see a little bit of it at all?
Yeah, we had a sneak out last night and got the honour of watching Scouting for Girls, which was absolutely epic, to be honest.
And obviously it's May, so we're right at the start of summer, but we're gearing up hopefully for a very busy summer. How are the team here at the Muscle Shoal feeling?
Very excited for summer season to kick in. Who wouldn't want to come and try our mussels and our amazing cocktails?
What's it like being one of the local businesses down here on the beach?
Really good, yeah, really good. Everyone's like really friendly, really welcoming. It's just a nice vibe. All the businesses sort of look out for each other, and we all like, yeah, it's like Team Carlyon.
And that's about it from us here at Tunes on the Shore. If you want to see all the fun from the weekend, head to our socials at Chaos Radio UK. See you there.
NEWSWAVE.
Right now on Chaos Radio, we're shining a light on one of Cornwall's most inspiring young changemakers. Aiden Coxhead is a surfer, coach and the founder of Aloha Kakou, a surf business with a powerful message that everyone deserves to feel included in the waves. Meah and I joined him for a surf session at Watergate Bay alongside his mum, Vicky Coxhead, who you might just recognise as co-host of Just Another Neurotype here on Chaos.
NEWSWAVE.
Yeah, my name's Aiden. I am a surfer and a surf coach, also a co-steering coach, a few other things. My background is I got into surfing before we moved down. We used to come on holidays down here, and then I got into it about 11, 13 years ago. Started surfing and decided to set my own business up. It represents what I want in surfing, everyone to be included, and I want there to be a category for learning disabilities to be able to compete, because I want to be able to compete in surf competitions around the world. Means that's what it represents. Yeah, I've obviously got CF, I've got a learning disability. It means there's challenges, I find things hard, but I have carers and Tarek and my mum to help me do what I want and set my own business up and get everyone else to do what they want in it. And that's the goal and that's the plan.
So Aiden has had a really different journey to most, and he's overcome so many challenges. So he was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when he was about 4, and he was diagnosed as autistic when he was about 6. And then we learned that he had a pathological demand avoidant profile, which kind of spiced things up a little bit more, and made any kind of compliance really difficult for him. And then we also found out that he had a learning disability. So life has been tough for him, but that has not stopped him one little bit. His passion in life has always been the sea or water. He could swim when he was 2, so he's always loved being in the water. And to get this far has just been incredible, really. He has had a lot of help and support through his education. He was able to get onto a bespoke program that helped him to learn to surf and then to become a surf instructor and a beach lifeguard, which was in itself just a fabulous mission. Something that would take a typical person a week to do. It took him, a year, 2 years to actually accomplish that qualification, but he did it. He carried on and he stuck with it and he did it. And so now this part really is to kind of build him up for the future, to give him a lifelong career that he's always, been passionate about and wanted. And in doing that, he wants to help other people that are in a similar position to him, or, in a more challenging position than him. I don't know where that's come from, but it's always been there. So ever since he was a baby, we joked and we called him a bit of a whale. He should have been in the sea, because on land he is quite cumbersome. He's big, he's quite slow, he's quite uncoordinated. But you put him in the water and he comes alive. And I think that kind of sensory feedback that he gets from the water is what makes him tick. the kind of pressure of the water around your body, and that sense of being out in the ocean where nothing can worry him. He feels completely the same as any other surfer when he's out there. No kind of communication barriers, no learning barriers, no understanding barriers. So he just feels at one with himself.
Mum's obviously helped me with like writing the business plan, and Tarek's helped me with writing the business plan, writing off all the funds for the CF Trust, because obviously they funded us for this grant. Means I had to have help to write it off, but that's the challenges. There's people that help, and this is what's come of. It was great when it arrived, because it meant that we could get going, and we had some money to go out and deliver some surf clubs and go out and buy some hoodies and some t-shirts and start selling my brand. I came up with the name Aloha Kakou. Aloha means hello, welcome everyone. Kakou means inclusive, and it's a Hawaiian saying. Most surfers know the saying aloha, and it was just combining those two together with hello, welcome, everyone included. And that was my passion, that everyone should be included. What we're doing is we're running 4-week courses at the minute. Obviously, when we get more money and more funding, we'll run it longer. But yeah, like it's fitness, it's exercise, it's good for their mental health because they're getting out in the fresh air, they're doing something. And yeah, you're working with me and Tarek. I'm a level 1 surf coach, Tarek's qualified level 2, means just improving your surfing, making sure you have fun all the time. And yeah, that's the aim of the business.
And actually, I mean, this group of youngsters that we're here with today, I've watched them the first time they came, really nervous, a bit unsure of, what to expect and what to do. And to see them progress over these last 4 weeks has just been phenomenal. I mean, Ash, bless him, needed so much support and confidence, really. And that's what it was about. It was about the confidence, and it was about that being able to feel and believe that he can do something. And he absolutely has smashed it. I mean, if you see him today, he's there, he's able to jump on that board and stand up and ride in, and the smiles, all round are just incredible.
Our plan is to hopefully run more programs. Obviously, we're going to try and get some more funding. We're going to write off to some people to get people to fund us. Means once we get more funding, we'll be able to get going again. How can people find us? We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram at the minute. Means message us on Instagram or Facebook or social medias. We're hoping to get a website set up. Means once we have a website set up, you'll be able to find us on a website. My message is everyone has right to be able to do what they want, and I say go ahead and do it. The only other thing I will say is thank you to Wave Hunters, because obviously we hire all of their wetsuits and equipment and their yoga studio, and thank you to Watergate Hotel.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, you're listening to NEWSWAVE here on Chaos Radio with me, Tom Howe. Next, TECwomen CIC is back with a bang. After last year's sold-out Reach for the Sky festival, they've just announced a groundbreaking aviation programme for girls, the first of its kind in the UK. Here to explain more is Caitlin Gould, who joins Cheryl Gordon on Breakfast.
NEWSWAVE.
It's great to talk to you, and technology to me is quite exciting. I love tech, and to know that there is an organisation that's actually trying to make a difference, it's fabulous to hear. So it's our pleasure to have you back here with us on Chaos. For any of our listeners that haven't heard of TECwomen or Tech Girls before, could you start by telling us a bit more about your mission and the work you're doing right here in Cornwall, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, tech's super exciting, and so is engineering. A lot of jobs for the future are based in those spaces, and we wanted to set up in Cornwall to make sure that girls growing up in Cornwall realize that could be an exciting future for them too. So we wanted to start by showing them how fun it can be. if we're honest, sometimes these subjects in schools can come across a little bit dry, and it's hard for students to always realize what these careers can lead to. If you're taking apart computers at school, you might not realize that you could be taking apart rocket ships in the future. So a lot of what we're trying to do is help kids connect what those subjects are with really exciting careers in the future, but also really, really importantly for us, it's based in Cornwall and it's about Cornish kids and Cornish opportunities. There are other programs that exist nationally, but a lot of them focus on jobs that might be in London or in the US. And we want to really highlight to kids in Cornwall, these are careers that you can have in Cornwall. You can go down apprenticeship route. You can study it at local colleges, so that this isn't just some national campaign. This is a real local born and bred and kind of a scene activity that we're doing. So yeah, that's a lot of what our mission is, and really to show people how fun and exciting it is as well.
Definitely, and I think to be able to have something in Cornwall, it is really good. And like you said, a lot of people may, for jobs, have moved out of Cornwall because there's not always those opportunities. So to hear that there's these opportunities in Cornwall, this is a massive factor, isn't it, really, Caitlin?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realise how many big tech companies have people working in Cornwall. So I've met people that work for Google. I've met someone that works for Xbox that lives down past Penzance. But there's also local engineering companies too. We've got amazing companies doing really cool stuff in marine engineering. We've got cybersecurity companies. GCHQ is just in Bude. And so I think a lot of times people don't realize that these are jobs that are all around us because we haven't got a big Google headquarters on the A30. It's not always obvious, but it is here.
Yeah, and having that opportunity, I think apprenticeships have certainly been more sort of profoundly available in the last few years, because I know at one point apprenticeships sort of died out really, and to hear that they're there and that people can get involved with the tech side is brilliant to hear. Now, we're really excited about the announcement of a major expansion to Reach for the Sky programme. Can you talk us through what's new for 2025 and what makes this a UK first, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So I always really wanted to have a festival to really show how fun all this stuff is. And we got a chance to do that last year. The amazing team at Culdrose hosted us, and it allowed us to kind of literally, sorry the pun, get things off the ground. And this year, we were fortunate enough to get the funding again from the Civil Aviation Authority and the Department for Transport to bring the festival back. We're having it at Spaceport this year, so we've got more space to be able to do it, and the amazing Newquay Airport as well is allowing us to bring in planes. So we have female pilots who will be bringing their planes in. We're having the team from the Silly Sky Bus bringing in one of their island hoppers, and their pilots will be available as well. And we'll be on a working airport, so you'll be able to see planes taking off and landing from the runway perspective, which you don't get to do a lot. So that'll be really exciting for the festival. We've already sold over 300 tickets. It's worth saying kids' tickets are free, and the adults' tickets are £10, but all the parking and everything is free. So that is really exciting about the festival. But then we've also expanded the program too. So we know a one-day festival can be brilliant for getting kids and parents excited, but then you need something else to follow on with that. So we are also launching in September a new after-school program that will be available for 10 schools across Cornwall, where girls will be able to explore aviation and aerospace design and understanding about different airplane design. So really combining engineering, but with the creative elements of design. We're also going to be running a challenge for 10 secondary schools to take part as well, taking that design further and exploring things with CAD and 3D printing. And we've got some really exciting stuff happening potentially around work experience as well. So our idea is really the festival is just the start of the program that will be running over the next school year.
Wow. That's incredible. That, I mean, when I was younger, there was never such opportunities. So to think that there is now these opportunities, and your festival sounds a very exciting thing to be expanding out into schools like you are, and work placements. Young people are definitely have got great opportunities over the next few years, really, haven't they?
Yeah, and I think it's worth saying too, we're the kind of catalyst that's bringing this all together, but we've got people from across industry who are really keen to see this happen, and they want to see girls taking up these opportunities. They want to see kids in Cornwall moving into their spaces and looking at their apprenticeship routes and their graduate positions. So it is awesome to be kind of the person organising it. But it's worth everyone knowing that this is all backed by this industry that is really desperate for young talent to come in. And that, I think, is what's really exciting, is that there's then grow-on places for them all to go to.
Why is it important to give girls these kinds of hands-on opportunities in aviation and aerospace?
Yeah, we get asked that a lot. Why is your festival just for girls? I should say boys are absolutely invited as well. They're welcome to come. Please don't feel like you're not. But the reason we're aiming this at girls is because a few years ago when we got started, we looked into the data coming out of the council. I think we were the first people to actually look into it, that showed that girls are not participating in technology and engineering education anywhere near what boys are. To give you an idea, less than 4% of girls study computing science at the GCSE level. This year's data is really shocking, to the point that I need to look into it a bit, because the data I just got from the council shows that we haven't got any girls doing A-levels in computing in Cornwall. So 0. So I'm trying to find one girl who's doing an A-level in computing in Cornwall right now. If you're listening, let me know. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a complete turning off of a subject that is so critical in terms of future careers. And we know that it might not be possible to convince all of them to take that subject, but if we can show girls that are studying maths and sciences and those other subjects that maybe they can move in to this pathway as well, show the younger girls that computing can be really interesting. There's a huge number of jobs available to them, and we wouldn't want those careers to just be made up of one type of person. Across every industry, the more diversity we have, the more people from different backgrounds and different genders we have, the better the outcomes are for those industries. So that's what we're really trying to do.
What kind of feedback have you had from girls and families who took part last year, and what impact do you hope this year's expanded programme will have?
Yeah, that's a great question. They loved it. We had brilliant feedback. I think the biggest thing was people kind of amazed at how long they were there for. I know that sounds weird, but a lot of people you don't know, and they showed up and they thought maybe it would be an hour, and they said, we've been here for 4 hours. There's so much for our girls to do. I think one comment really stuck with me, which, you know, one of the mums said, it's amazing to look around and see hundreds of geeky girls just loving every minute of it and finding their tribe and being surrounded by other girls who find this stuff as fun, as exciting, and as cool as they do. And that's really what we wanted to do as well, is really have a place where girls who do love this stuff can all come together and see, yeah, it's really normal. There's lots of girls that love this kind of thing, and it's really exciting as a movement. And I think that passion and energy is contagious. And so that's what I like to see. When we run our after school clubs, when we do our events, they are fun. The girls are having a great time, and they are always begging us for more. So that tells us we're onto a good thing.
Absolutely, and I'm personally one of those ladies that really likes tech in some way or another. You know, I'd rather look at a new piece of tech than go and buy clothes shopping. So, yeah, if you said to me, let's go clothes shopping, I'll be like, really? Or if you said to me, let's go and look at tech, I'll be like, yeah, I'm right there, I'm interested.
Well, and what if you could 3D print your own shoes, right? Then you could mix and
that would be all right, wouldn't it? You know, brand new pair of shoes, that'd be perfect. That would be. Have to be like a trainer type though. I can't be doing with heels, Caitlin. I can't be doing with heels at all.
No, definitely trainers.
Yeah. You're also giving back, aren't you, through the festival? Can you tell me about how the ticket sales are supporting local groups like the Cornwall Air Ambulance and local veteran groups?
Yeah, so we we were lucky to have funding to get the festival off the ground. And with the ticket sales, part of the reason we're doing the ticket sales is for parking. And we've got a couple of local groups that are helping us with that. We're also based on the airport and surrounded by sea. Cornwall Air Ambulance is such an important part of keeping us all safe, as well as that really inspiring a company that is doing aviation and aerospace in Cornwall. So we just wanted a chance to give back. So the money that is coming in from the adult ticket sales is going to help organizations like that, as well as a number of other Newquay-based charities and youth organizations too. So they're going to be there on the day as well, taking part in it. Again, it was all about this being very much as it's aviation and aerospace, it's still a Cornish festival and it's still local, and we still wanted to connect a lot with local groups.
This is absolutely brilliant, and it's going to be an incredible event. For any schools or families or businesses listening who want to get involved, what's the best way to do that? And are there still places available for schools to sign up for clubs or take flight Take Flight Challenge?
Yeah, no problem. So there's still tickets available. Like I said, we've already sold 300. Last year we sold out twice. I'm really bad at letting people in. I'd be a terrible doorman. But I would suggest getting tickets as soon as. We do have a cap this year based on parking. So that's available on our website, which is TECgirls, so techgirls.co.uk. And it's on the Reach for the Sky Festival. We've also just put up the details for our school clubs. So we offer actually a whole program of clubs for primary school and secondary schools. So if anybody is interested in that, the next year's program is now live on our website, and it's on the schools page.
Caitlin, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. I'd love to find out how it all goes for you on the day. So do keep in contact. But definitely grab that opportunity, because living in Cornwall, it can be limited in a lot of ways. But sounds very exciting. Good luck with it all, and speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Caitlin. Oh, that was lovely. A lovely interview. Really, really interesting. Thank you to Caitlin Gould from TECwomen CIC for joining us. If you want to learn more about Reach for the Sky Festival or the wider aviation skills programme, please visit techgirls.co.uk.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, it was Dementia Action Week recently, and all across Cornwall, people have been raising awareness and vital funds, while the Cornwall Dementia Conference brought together community leaders, families and experts for a full day of ideas and inspiration. Henry Rosewall caught up with Dr. Alison Hibbert, chair of the Cornwall Dementia Partnership, who led a charity walk to support a new dementia website aimed at simplifying local support.
NEWSWAVE.
Joining me now, folks, I'm really happy to say here on Chaos Radio as part of Dementia Action Week. And like I say, of course, last week we had the Cornwall Dementia Conference. They're now gearing up to walk 100 miles, all for the good of dementia and dementia care here in the Southwest. I'm now talking to the lovely Dr. Alison Hammond. Alison Hammond? No, nearly. Dr. Alison Hibbert. Good afternoon, Alison.
Wow, hello. Hi, Henry.
You're not quite Alison Hammond, are you?
No, I think she's funnier than me.
Oh, no.
Name with one L. I'm Alison with two L's, actually.
See, greedy.
I think we need to do a cognitive test on you, Henry.
Do you think?
I'm wondering whether, I think so.
Oh, you think there's something there? Look, I've written you a lovely introduction. Now, we know each other wonderfully. We've worked with each other for the past few years now, obviously supporting at the Cornwall Dementia Conference. But are you ready for this? Ready for this lovely introduction? As part of Dementia Action Week, and here in Cornwall, there's been a lot of buzz of activity, from awareness campaigns to community events, even a charity walk to raise funds for a brand new dementia support website. Last Friday, it was the Cornwall Dementia Conference, bringing together people from all over the county for a full day of inspiring talks, ideas and shared experiences. One of the driving forces behind it all is Dr. Alison Hibbert, chair of the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Dementia Partnership, joining me here today, talking more about their upcoming, ready for this, special fundraiser, walking to raise money for a user-friendly website designed to make dementia support and local services easier to find and understand. All about helping people feel less overwhelmed and more connected and where they need it most. Good afternoon, Alison. Lovely to have you here with me.
Oh, thanks, Henry. Yeah. No, I joke, but it is actually a serious topic. Actually, 1 in 3 of us may be at risk of getting dementia. And actually, dementia is not just a condition of old age. It affects anybody of any age. So it is a really serious kind of condition to kind of talk about, and it's important that people kind of come forward and get checked out if they are concerned, and chat to perhaps their GP surgery in the first kind of instance. But we're trying to raise awareness, and from some work I did with Health Watch and with the Memory Cafe Network and carers, they did a fantastic kind of report for us in 2023, letting us know that all their sort of feedback and what they'd like to see about services and what could kind of help. One of those points is that they felt that information was sort of like hard to come by.
Yep.
And there's lots of services out there, but often people don't know about them. So what we're trying to do in response to that is put together a Cornwall-wide dementia website where we can have all information and links to other websites all just in one place, really. So as part of that, we are trying to have our fundraiser. And as you said, it's all about the 100 miles. So what we're looking for at least 100 people to sign up to commit to walking 100 miles over the summer.
Wow.
And it is walk in your own time, at your own pace and place. So we want to make this an inclusive kind of charity walk. So people are setting their own targets within the time frame. So I've been doing a bit of walk to work. I'm going to do some longer walks to get out and meet some of our fantastic support groups. But yeah, we're looking for 100 people to sign up to commit to walk 100 miles over the summer. Do you know why we've chosen 100 and 100, Henry?
I do, but I think it's a fantastic reason, so I'm going to let you tell us why.
So 100 times 100 is 10,000. And actually, that's probably the number, just over, actually, the number of people that are estimated to be living with dementia in Cornwall. So it's actually a mile in solidarity with each person. And the actual diagnosis figures were a bit lower than that, but that's because we know a lot of people haven't really come forward or haven't received diagnosis. But diagnosis is important because diagnosis is the key to kind of unlock support, really. And we want to make sure that the myths and stigma are kind of busted. We want it to be okay to be living with dementia in Cornwall, and we want to make sure that people can be supported and kind of looked after. And getting a website together will be a fantastic way of us to put all the information together, really. So, yeah, really, really pleased if people can help us kind of join up. I'm secretly hoping we might smash the target, Henry. If we smash the target, which is £5,000, then if there's more money beyond that, then we will be looking to support some of our voluntary dementia support groups across the county. There's quite a few groups that are out there. There's lots of fantastic things: sensory trust walking, memory cafes, singing for the brain. There's all sorts of groups and things that you can kind of join out there to get support. So, but the website's the main goal to start with, and hopefully, so far, have you signed up, Henry?
Now, I've been watching from afar and, just at the moment, maybe gearing up the running shoes or the walking shoes, should I say. They're getting ready for it. But again, it does sound quite doable. It does sound like a lot of people could get involved with this.
It is, because that's the idea. We want it to be inclusive. So some people are kind of taking it bite-sized, a mile a day or half a mile twice a day. I've got some really annoying friends that are ultra marathon runners. They're going to do 2 lots of 50 kind of in a weekend, but that's the point of it.
Hang on a minute.
You know what your goals are. You know what you can achieve. You know what would be a challenge for you. So it's about making it kind of inclusive, and we all kind of set it to our own kind of way. But so it's your own pace, your own place. Now I am going to be getting together with some friends to do some of my walks and visiting some of the memory cafes on the way, and also sensory trust. I'm going to get out and about the county. So some people might see me. Some people already in Launceston have stopped me and wondered who this sort of like out of breath, slightly drowned work in Spain. So yeah, people have already stopped me actually and said, why are you out walking?
What are you doing? Yeah.
What do you do? You might see some people. You might see some of us out and about across the county. If there's a lot of people out walking, let's get them walking in solidarity with people with dementia.
And I think on the back of that, walking so good for us anyway, getting out and about and moving for the mental health and your well-being anyway in that sense. So it's a good thing to be doing nonetheless. You might as well be doing it for a good cause.
Absolutely. We know that 40% of the risk factors for dementia are modifiable. So what's good for your heart is actually also good for your brain. So walking is a fantastic way to kind of prevent dementia, but also if you have got dementia, to sort of slow the progression, keep the blood flow to the brain. So we know that walking, for lots of reasons, is really, really, really good kind of exercise to kind of do, really. There are other ways to prevent dementia, actually. I might probably mention those, actually, because some people that aren't aware of, actually. But keeping your social connections is really important. Keeping social, sometimes we can get socially isolated, but actually meeting up with people, keeping our social connections, keeping our brains sort of stimulated, cognitive stimulating kind of activities. Do you know that actually our cognition, the way our brain works, actually slows down when we retire, because we don't, when you retire, you don't think as much to sort of change from kind of being at work and keeping the brain going to sort of retiring. So keep your brain busy in retirement. Make sure, get the cross. I make my mother do crosswords.
Yeah, it is like exercising. It's a muscle in that same aspect, in that way of, keep using it. Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the other risk factors, which is not commonly well known, that is coming out a bit more in the research, is hearing loss. And that probably links also to the social connections, actually, that actually, if you can't hear, you tend to sort of disengage from kind of conversations and socially more. So I think protecting your hearing if you're still working or, exposed to loud noise, so protecting hearing loss. But if you have got hearing loss or you're struggling with your hearing, get your hearing checked, wear those hearing aids. Keep your kind of connections.
Yeah, and like you say, speak to people. Yeah, speaking with people in that regard, conversation, and it's something to do and something to be out there for as well, sharing these conversations, especially if you're walking, talking can take your mind off it. If if exercise isn't your thing, before you know it, you've done one of those miles.
Exactly, absolutely. The other thing I should plug as well, probably in dementia kind of prevention at the moment, that's being talked about a lot, you might have heard about, is sort of headwear protection and protection of head injury. So repeated head injuries can be a risk factor for dementia. We're seeing this a lot. So if you're somebody that's doing contact sports, make sure you're wearing kind of head protection kind of gear. If you're a rugby player, try and avoid headers, in football, all these sorts of things. There's more research coming out. You might have seen that with the kind of rugby players, a lot of that sort of being talked about. But have a look. There are modifier risk factors for dementia, but we do know that walking's good for you. If you've got dementia, or if you haven't got dementia, walking is a very good activity, and even better if you can do it with friends. So if you can join our fundraiser,
fantastic.
It's fantastic. So it's 100 miles over the summer. We're running it until the 19th of August. What else can I tell you, Henry? I think
So it's the Just Giving page. That's the one we're going to give a bit of a plug here as well, isn't it? Head on over to the Just Giving page, Walk for Dementia. For our listeners, we will share it on socials as well, so keep an eye out for the Chaos Radio UK socials, where we'll be making sure that we share the Just Giving page, and you'll be able to see people signing up and possibly sign up yourself, or if not, donate a lovely bit of money.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think, we know that there are lots of different fundraisers, and for people at different times, signing up to do a walk might not be for you. But actually, if you would like to help us get a Cornwall-wide dementia website, or help us support some of the kind of voluntary groups, then just a small donation, that would be amazing too. We really want to kind of smash our targets, really. So it's fantastic. Thank you so much. So you're going to share the details on your kind of pages. The charity we're working with, who are helping the Dementia Partnership run the fundraiser, are a charity called Memory Matters CIC. They're a fantastic charity that provide support workers, Moments Cafe in Plymouth, and cognitive stimulation therapy here in Cornwall as well. They're working with us. If people are struggling with the sign-up kind of page or any issues, and their phone number is actually 01752 243 333. They can also be kind of contacted as well for details of the fundraiser. But yeah, it's really exciting, and I think I've got to go, Henry, because I've got to get some miles in.
NEWSWAVE.
And finally, we're heading to Newquay Zoo, where an incredible conservation milestone has just been reached. Petitia, an 11-month-old Carpathian lynx born at the zoo, has become the first British big cat to join a European rewilding programme. John Meek, curator of animals and plants at Newquay Zoo, what a cool job that sounds, by the way, joins Cheryl to share the story.
NEWSWAVE.
Lovely to have you on board, and this is very exciting. So, first of all, congratulations to you and the team. This is such a huge achievement. How are you feeling about it all?
Oh, we're really excited. It's fantastic. It's what we do, really. This is what zoos do. You know, we should have a genetic pool of animals for release, and this just proves the fact that we do it. And this has been a really exciting one, because this animal was chosen on the basis of her genetics. So we have to make sure that the right animals go out, and you know, they're not inbred and things like that. Then she's had to go through veterinary testing to make sure she's healthy to go out. Then she's had to go through behavioural testing, and at any one of those points, she could have failed the test for release, and she didn't. And eventually we actually took her out to Germany, and she's in a soft release pen in Germany. I took her out, so it was and the setup out there was amazing. So we're really, really thrilled to be involved with it.
For those who haven't heard the story yet, can you give us a quick summary of the journey from being born at Newquay Zoo to now preparing for possible release, please?
Yeah, sure. So this we've been breeding lynx here for many years, and so therefore they knew that we knew what we were doing. But we were part of a European breeding program for many, many years now, and we're breeding youngsters that were most of the time go back into other zoos. But we had an email just saying, "Tell you what, John, do you want to give this a go? And let's see if we can release a zoo-bred animal into the wild." And we were, wow, you know, this is amazing. And that's when the process started. It was important she was a female, because there were very few females bred in the breeding program and genetically correct. And so we started working with her, and eventually a lot of work. But, you know, moving animals around Europe, especially around Europe nowadays, is very difficult. So we took 7 months working with her, and then eventually took her out. It was some moment to actually let her out of that box. Actually, she travelled all the way to Germany into the Black Forest where she's going to live. And you think, wow, this is very, very special indeed. So, yeah, I mean, credit to all the staff here. Wow, did they do a good job with her.
I should imagine it's probably one of the highlights of your career, really, being involved in such a great thing to be able to do.
41 years I've been doing it, and it's not often we get those moments, but we do get them, and that's why we do it. So it's always a highlight. It's a highlight for the staff and everything, because they see their cat going out. And talking to the researchers over there, it's a fantastic setup. They think she's going. She looks like she's already starting to rewild. So no guarantees, but so far looking good.
So obviously there's a lot of work that goes in preparing her for her new life beyond captivity. What has been involved in this?
Well, surprisingly, we started doing it by kind of food den, making her work a little bit harder, keeping her away from the public. And again, the veterinary tests were very, very important. And we had to do behavioural studies to see whether she had the instincts and things. So we couldn't work on that. We just had to see if she had those instincts. And again, discussing the program with the German guys over there, they say that when she's in release pen, within 2 weeks, those instincts will kick in. So the only key with this is that she stays away from people, but her instincts are already there. So she should be able to do it.
So have you got like some sort of like tracking device or anything to see what her journey's like still?
Yeah, so in the release pens in Germany, she is in a big forested pen at the moment, and they have a camera there. They just stay away from her. They don't get anywhere near her. So they can monitor her health and things like that on the camera on the odd time they see her. When she goes out, she'll have a radio collar. So they will be able to track her. And it's fascinating the way they were doing it, is that when the radio collar shows that she's not moving from a given area, that means that she's made a kill, and they can go and check on her at that point. So there are really scientific methods of tracking these animals, and they can do it very easily.
What's it like emotionally for the keepers who've raised her and then saying goodbye? It must be sort of a bittersweet moment, really, for them.
Kind of is, and certainly the cat keepers were quite emotional, and quite rightly so. Normally, whenever we breed animals at the zoo here, we always know that they're going to go on somewhere, so that's part of our standard work, and we've got animal moves on the go all the time. But to actually send this animal out to be released was fantastic. I don't think anybody kind of thinks, oh dear, she's going away from us, because everybody knew this is her chance, this is the one. And so therefore we were thrilled to see her go, as much as that, we don't like seeing our animals leave, but this time, yes.
Oh, exciting stuff. Are you able to talk a bit about why apex predators like the lynx are so important to the ecosystems?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's been lots of talk about rewilding. Certainly, they're doing it with beavers in this country now, so they've been very successful. And the changes the beavers make to the country for flooding and biodiversity and things is extraordinary. But they've proven actually that what happens with lynx and wolves and bears and things like that is once they're in the wild, they then start taking out the old and the weak, and then it's only the things like deer and smaller prey as well. They're leaving the strongest to breed, and therefore they're actually controlling the numbers of grazing animals. So therefore the grazing animals don't damage the forest, and there's all sorts of things like that. The predators are there for a reason, and you take the predators out and you really see a problem. And what's interesting with these is that the males are actually transitioning through the forest, and the males migrate looking for females, and because the females are just not there in the Black Forest, we're releasing females out, so it stops the males, then creates a population in that given area. So that's the idea, and so we're filling corridors full of animals rather than having isolated pockets of animals that are going to start to interbreed. So then they transition through and make sure that we've got a good genetic group in the wild. Really important work.
Yeah, very intense, knowing that how the importance this is. This project could also shift how people think about zoos, not just a place to see animals, but a places of actively involved restoring to wild. Is this the future for modern zoos?
Oh, completely. Well, it's been the reality of modern zoos for quite a while. I mean, that this is the message we need to get out, that actually we don't do this. Gerald Durrell says the best thing that could ever happen to his zoo is for it to close because it wasn't necessary, because we're keeping these genetically pure groups of animals in many species, and almost all our animals are on international breeding programs for this reason. And then all of a sudden somebody comes and says, yeah, you've got the genetic animal we need for release, and you think, if we hadn't done that, that animal wouldn't exist, and they wouldn't be able to do that. So it's so important, and the work we do, Newquay Zoo is part of a conservation charity, and we only exist for that. We don't exist, just to keep animals in cages. We exist to do conservation. That's why we're here.
Definitely a lot to be said for that, isn't there? Really. Can you tell us a bit more about your wider conservation work at Newquay Zoo and what visitors can expect if they come and see them for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all of our animals, as I said, almost all our animals are on international breeding programs anyway. We work in several projects in Africa. We've certainly done work in Vietnam in the past, and we're certainly looking at doing more local conservation, because I think that's just as important. And we're doing studies on site with various local species and stuff as well. But all of our animals are on these breeding programs. We support lots of overseas breeding programs. But actually, as much as anything, it can be research and knowledge. And we've sent many a time, we've actually sent people out to countries of origin of these animals, because we're rich compared to a lot of these countries that the issues occur in. And we can train people and go out and help in the projects. So yeah, there's a huge amount going on all the time, and each individual species is part of different projects.
And the only way that you're going to learn is by actually hands-on going out and experiencing it for real, because reading it from a textbook or reading it online doesn't have the same impact as actually experiencing it for yourself, is it really?
It's really interesting, because when I took the cat out and they said, do you want to release it? And I said, well, absolutely I do. And so actually doing that and releasing that cat from the box, and you just think, well, I've worked with animals for 40 years, and I've done this sort of thing for 40 years, and your bottom lip goes, because you just think, wow, this is real. But if it doesn't, I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
This whole thing is a passion project, and if you haven't got the passion for it, you shouldn't be doing it. And when the cat left the zoo, the entire keeper team surrounded the lorry. There was rounds of applause, there was tears, there was all sorts of things. And then, because, we are passionate about what we do.
It's so heartwarming.
Really important.
It's so important. It's really heartwarming to know that animals are cared to this standard. There's so many animals out there that unfortunately slip through the net, don't get that care that they need. But to see the passionate work that you and your team are doing is incredible at Newquay Zoo. how can people stay up to date with the Lynx's progress and the support in the incredible work Wild Planet Trust are doing at Newquay Zoo?
Well, you can certainly go on the website and have a look on the website, and there's all the information there. But also, I will be monitoring her progress out there. Interestingly, when speaking to the people out there, if you ask how she's doing, they say, we don't know. We see her, she's okay. And that's really good, because they don't want to be interfering. They don't really want to know what she's, too much about her, because that means they're interfering. So they literally see her sneak out of the bushes, grab some food and run back in again. And as long as she's doing well, then that's absolutely fine. But we're looking at around about 4 months if she's released, 4 to 6 months. So as soon as we get the kind of, yes, this is going to happen, hopefully we'll go out again. And we'll certainly get that information out there to everybody. The greatest thing that we're looking forward to is be able to open a box and see her run out into the forest. Not 100% that's going to happen, but the only other thing with this is if for some reason that she fails the test and doesn't go out, she will then be in that pen to breed, and her offspring will go out. So it's not a wasted journey, even if she doesn't hit the criteria. But she will,
With the power of the universe,
positive
she will.
Thought.
Yeah, absolutely. John, this is incredible. You'll have to come back and tell us a little bit more about how it's all going and how she's doing.
No, it'd be a pleasure to. Yeah. And like I said, as soon as we get more information, and almost less information is better, because she's just doing her own thing now, not our business. So it's great.
Oh, great stuff. John, have a fantastic rest of your day, and we look forward to speaking to you soon and hearing about the progress. That was John Meek from Newquay Zoo there. Thank you for him for joining us here on Chaos Radio this morning. To learn more about conservation programmes or to plan yours, head on over to newquayzoo.org.uk.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of NEWSWAVE. A big Chaos Radio thank you to all who joined us at Tunes on the Shore, to Aiden and Vicky Coxhead, Caitlin Gould, Dr. Alison Hibbert and John Meek too. And of course, a final thank you to you for listening and supporting local journalism here in Cornwall. To catch up on all our content and explore our extensive back catalogue, head to chaos.radio and click catch up. Got a story to share? Email news@Chaos Radio or follow us on socials. That's Chaos Radio UK. That's it. You're up to date here on Chaos.
NEWSWAVE.
Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.